But in order to actually bring you closer to what you just said, allow me to draw parallels between technology, of course, some form of historical snippets that we all, I think, passed through when we were at school. The theory of evolution tells us that human beings started, I think, discovering fire. We discovered fire. That was a very big invention. After that, we then went into the Stone Age, where we started introducing the use of tools. Stone Age was then replaced by Industrial Age. Then now we are looking at a totally different pantheon. We are operating in a different pantheon where it's a combination of all those innovations with some level of competition now posed to humanity. And this is basically what I was talking about, artificial intelligence. I'm not going to repeat the definitions. In simple terms, artificial intelligence is actually computers, machines trying to mimic what human beings can do. So if you look at where we are as a people, when I say people, I'm actually going from the realization that through telecoms, we've managed to flatten the world. The previous speaker did say that you would require 2 days to actually save money from America because they haven't really tapped into the competence of the telecoms. I want to actually demystify that telecoms are unsung heroes. I think they are bulldozers. By way of analogy, you know that bulldozers pave the way for fast cars to move, but they are never allowed to actually operate on those roads. So we need to change the narrative. So the telecoms industry, I think we have actually brought the issue around telecoms, around ChatGPT, which is, I think, one of the most known AI revolution of our times. We have seen almost everyone claiming to know what AI is, me included. I think futurists speak about many scary things, many so good things that come new. But what exactly are we looking at? Is AI really new or is something that was there before? If you go back maybe to 2006, I'm sure you know that Google was able to make use of Google Translate. Those of you with language barriers who travel a lot will know that you actually make use of Google Translate to communicate to someone. That was, I think, as far back as 2006. Siri, I think, came in 2011, and many other innovations around that. But what makes that possible is the telecoms backbone, which basically carry the traffic around that. Okay, so what exactly are we looking at? What does the future look like with the small and maybe rather humane historical perspective I'm giving you? Computers also have their own history, which has actually evolved to the issue of AI we speak about. You know, I think when computers came into being, I remember being given an example of the first computer which was so huge that it could fit in one football stadium. But with the invention of transistors, we then see computers even being fitted in our pockets. Sharon speak about the 51, the 3310, I think he forgot the 5110, because I think the most common for then. So what was happening then? I don't know, am I audible? I can continue.
Yeah, speak up. 1, 2.
So what was happening then? Is power just gone? Okay. Okay. So what was happening then? We see that there is a sense in which there is evolution in the way technology is actually going. So I'm not going to repeat. I think the previous speaker did a good job for me to actually explain how the introduction of AI is actually coming to be. If you were to look into the evolution of computers again, in 1950, those of you who studied computer science or who read a bit of some history on IT, you know that we started with the Turing machine, which was basically, I think, one of the most difficult subjects that we will speak about. because we are looking at whether computers can really think. And it's a proposition that was actually frowned upon at that moment in time. Because our own viewers could actually tell computers what to do. Then they would just bring back what we've given them. Hence the old cliche that it's garbage in, garbage out. But reality is actually telling us that there's a new wave. In 1956, there was a conference in Dartmouth where the word AI was then coined in. Again, it was a concept which was frowned upon then because we couldn't really put reality into what this proposition was speaking about. In the 1980s, we saw the introduction of big data. Data about data. Most people say data is now the oil of our generation. If you look at how oil changed the narrative. We also know at the back of our mind that oil came into being, but it also destroyed the environment. Hence we speak of sustainable everything, sustainable banking, sustainable industrialization, and so forth. But the history of AI is something that has actually been made very possible through the introduction of fast connectivity from the telecoms industry. I will jump all these years because I'm sure you recall the journey that we really passed through to, I think, what we are looking at now. So AI, the first version of it, we see it now in operation through things like, for example, we know fast cars. We have the internet of everything. You can switch off your television from home. You can actually start a car. You even have driverless cars now into being. What does that tell us? It tells us through the support of the telecoms, through the evolution of the technologies, AI, in a manner of speaking, is actually mimicking the evolution we saw in human beings. In banking, we see now the capability of personalized services. Through the large data models that are there, we are able to do some behavioral analytics and understand that a particular user requires this. I think most of you might have watched movies where a person calls a contact center, be it McDonald's. McDonald's tells you that last time we ordered this kind of a pizza, you want this kind of toppings, and this is the cost, and it even remembers which account you used to pay, and at a click of a button, your order is actually done. So this is basically personalization to the level that we see AI coming into play in banking. Mr. Sierra, or AI is the biggest chief risk officer of nowadays. AI doesn't go to sleep. AI thinks at a rate faster than anyone else. AI has the capability to actually detect attack vectors at a level that is faster than what a human being can do. So we are seeing the continuous use of AI within banking. Then now coming to one of the biggest moral dilemmas of our time. I know people had careers in managing contact centers. People had careers just being the face of businesses, running customer services. But we see an increase in the replacement of those jobs. The use of chatbots, I'm sure you see in many internet web pages, chatbots being used to actually offer customer service that is timeless. 2 a.m. we can actually make a query and be responded. Fair and fine, we know in certain areas we do have contact centers that work 24 hours. But the accuracy and speed with which these actually chatbots are working is unparalleled. So at the back of that, risk management, like I said, it's an area that we also saw improving. But at the back of that, we still have a lot of risks that are coming on account of AI. Just as far and as fast as we enjoy how useful it is, the rogue elements amongst our ranks are also having fast and more sophisticated attack vectors that they can use to actually penetrate and destroy our businesses. A lot of misuse, something we see a lot. Currently we are talking about wars, I think in Ukraine, Hamas, we hear about drones being used to actually wage a war. That's AI in operation. We also see misaligned or unethical behaviors. through AI. The world is full of the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the good among us make use of AI to the benefit of humanity. But the bad are making use of AI to actually then wage a war and actually drive their businesses. So what exactly is AI? There is a general tendency of us to think that AI is basically a certain form of technology. In my mind, I think AI is a new digital being. It's a digital species. The same way we speak about the human species, I think we are also having a digital species called AI. It's a digital species in the sense that in the first world, we see people relying on robots as their companions. We see people sharing personal information with their robots. We see people, I think the $20,000 robot that the previous speaker spoke about, it's basically a certain form of a human being in a technology, which I will maybe call a techno-sapient human being. Remember, evolution talks about the human sapien, the Homo sapien, Homo habilis, Homo sapiens sapien. In a sense, I think AI is coming with what we call a techno-sapient being who, in a way that is so scary, has the ability to consume data faster than any human being. Measurements around IQ tells us that ChatGPT 4.0 is an IQ bigger than any human being that could maybe exist in the next 10 to 15 years, if ever there's going to be a person like that. If someone is to live their full life, maybe reading a book 24 hours, subject to statistics, it's actually estimated that maybe you consume about 1 billion plus words through your whole lifetime. But AI is coming with the capability to consume trillions of data within maybe 2 days or a day. What does that tell us? There is a threat to our human intelligence. There is actually, there are stories around AI being able to write certain examinations in medicine, certain examination, even for entry exams, and they will pass way better than any human being that can exist. So what is this thing that we call AI? This thing that we call AI, in my mind, it's a good innovation which needs to be managed ethically. I think to think of human beings as only those creatures who are concerned about the environment, concerned maybe about carbon, concerned about how we make money, would be not enough. And also look at AI as some form of technology that is going to maybe just work up to a certain level. In my mind, it's also not enough. So AI, what it is, I think it is exactly like what nuclear fusion is to energy. It's an opportunity that we need to explore for the good, for the bad. And that's why most authors refer to it as an Oppenheimer moment. You remember during the discovery of nuclear, the Oppenheimer scientist thought, this is a good thing, but it was used for bomb creation. So we need to really build in proper ethical models. We need to bring the requisite regulation, which will then allow for us to benefit and make use of AI. So my sense is AI is something that we need to continue using. And as a bank, as a telecoms industry, and as a people, as humanity, ethics are what are going to basically guide and direct that which you think is going to come as a benefit. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Dr. Alfred.